From what we surveyed is that there's a lot of IPs in the university which has potential for commercialization.
Right, so there is an abundance of innovation that's happening.
In terms of products, in terms of service, service in terms of maybe we talk about diagnostic kits and so on. But there's the issues that the private sector or the entrepreneur looks at is, number one, is cost. Right, you might be able to make a good product out of it, but if it's going to escalate in cost, then I think there will be no buyer for it, right? And then number two, is there a need for it? Because when you talk about products, if there's no need for it, no one's going to buy it. So I think that's the reason, one of the reasons that why there's such a low percentage of IPs being commercialized
in the university.
And the other minor reasons for it is market. Malaysia is a very small market. Right? So this is again where A-Bio hopefully able to help in opening up the market. So what we do now is we talk to the universities and we look at the IPs before even trying to look for private sector. On our side also, we see if there is a market for it. If there's no market for it, we might even advise them and say that maybe they should skew it to this way or that way to make it more marketable. So that's where our nurturing comes in. So when we talk about nurturing, not only for our university companies, but also with our links with the universities.
Right.
With the universities to say that, all right, maybe there's some issues here which makes it why it's not really commercially viable yet. So that's where we come in and bring inputs. And sometimes we also match them with the private sectors. The private sectors also give their inputs as well.
Well, with the coming 10 Malaysia plan, I know a lot of people are tabling their proposals and whatnot, and I'm sure you're hoping to get a bigger allocation because under the 10th Malaysia plan. I feel that, by being that biotech industry is very small and still small, still young, still baby, taking baby steps, and whatever that's decided now under the 10th Malaysia plan will be worked on for the next 5 years. So this is actually a crossroad that's very important for the industry to make sure that the what is wrong is fixed and what should be done is being done for the next 5 years.
Right.
So yourself, at least, after being a bio entrepreneur and also now as a CEO of a government agency, are there any sort of burning changes that you would like to see, or at least some of the loopholes or mistakes that you see that should be fixed under the 10th Malaysia plan? And also going forward, what you feel will work to steer the industry?
I think for the 9th Malaysia plan, when we embarked in biotechnology, I think whatever policies or plans or even how things are executed has been done well. But what we need to look at in the 10th Malaysia plan is we have created a lot of so-called biotech companies.
Right.
Through BioNexus status.
Right. I think they have about 135 now. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I think how this success is going to be measured in the next 5 years is in terms of how does it benefit the economy, how does it bring monetary gains out of it, and so on. So we are always if you look at even the GLCs, the minimum benchmark for them to attain in terms of revenue is 1 billion ringgit. 1 billion ringgit. So we have to ask ourselves, in 5 years' time, after the 10th Malaysia plan ends, are we able at that period of time to have a $1 billion biotech industry?
1 billion biotech industry.
Yeah, 1 billion ringgit biotech industry.
Homegrown local technology.
IPs or patents from local universities especially, or local companies. Because I do believe there are companies out there who are generating close to 1 billion, but we need to look at it as more of a national agenda. Because we are spending millions and millions of ringgit into research, into development of biotech, So if we can see this kind of industry maybe in the next 5 years, we generates this kind of returns, at least, it gives more confidence maybe to the government to even further spend on research, because they know that, you know,
What they spend on the research is
yeah,
going to...
you're going to sort of get your ROI or returns out of it. So I think this is what actually that needs to be planned properly in the 10th Malaysia Plan. Because if you look, we have three types of, you talk about biotechnology, you have healthcare, agriculture, industrial,
and,
right? So we really need to sit down and really think carefully which part of this industry, you know, these three industries, is the one that's going to generate this 1 billion ringgit.
Oh, so you're saying that we should, well, I wouldn't say discriminate, we should pick and choose. So instead of spreading the effort, it should be sort of more vertical. Is that what?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at our southern neighbours, Singapore, they have never even embarked on industrial
biotech. Yeah.
Agriculture is obvious because they don't have the natural resources.
Yeah, they don't have land and resources.
They're only concentrating on healthcare.
Yeah.
Right? And I think they're getting there in getting the returns and so on. And they are always looked, when you talk about healthcare and biotechnology, it's Singapore, you know. Mm-hmm. But I think with Malaysia, we need to create that kind of branding and the niche and the expertise, especially in what area do we need to go into, which we feel maybe that we are strong in. So maybe we have the natural resources. So maybe, I might be wrong, you know, others can dispute me, could be agriculture.
Right.
Agriculture, biotechnology. Because it's no use inventing something from scratch.
Yeah.
It's better to go in something where we already have a head start and we have the advantage.
Right.
Yeah. So for me personally, it should be agriculture, biotechnology.
You feel that's the low-hanging fruits in this industry?
Yes, this is low-hanging fruits in the industry, because when you talk about the industry, you need to complete the value chain. Mm-hmm. Okay, for example, like we need to be realistic in the sense that it starts from raw material until product. So do we have the raw material?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do, you know, and maybe we have the process already, but maybe it's not a process that is able to bring the outputs or quality that is of a world standard and so on. So that's maybe where we have to invest in more. And especially when you talk about agriculture, maybe the outside world, you know, the other markets views Malaysia still in some ways as a producer of agriculture goods because of our oil palm, you know,
rubber.
Even last time with rubber and so on. So this is a good advantage that we could go in, because if you not talk about healthcare, it's good, but again, if you're talking about clinical trials and so on, you know, I don't think if we really have.
That requires big money.
Big money, and not even money, it's also brains, you know, expertise.
Right.
Do we have enough expertise to do it and so on? Yeah? Because I think we still do have a lack of, because in my experience, there's one multinational company in France, they have like 2,000 scientists, PhD, working on a certain type of drug, you know, which I don't think we even have that.
2,000 working on, wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Numbers are amazing.
So that's how I feel, you know, for the 10th Malaysia Plan.
Right. All right, that's all the time we have for this week. Thank you, Rizal, for coming on
Thanks,
here
Aisha.
this week. That's it. I'm running out of time, so have a productive week in technologies.